Good morning, everybody, or good evening, because all of my visitors today, it's evening where they are, maybe dark already. I am Donna Reed. I traveled in 1976A in Up With People. You probably all know that, unless you just accidentally zoomed into this YouTube channel today. So I'm excited to have this group of people with me. Through the years, I have heard many things about this survival band that plays in Europe, and I'm going to say predominantly Germany, but we'll go beyond that. So they have 10 members I just saw at the last little picture. And so a few of them are here today, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves. Alex, we will start with you. Tell everybody who you are. Clearly it says where you're from, but also maybe when you saw a show or how you learned about Up With People.
Yeah, hi Donna, thanks for having us. Alex Fleur from Germany, and I traveled in KC 91. And yeah, a long time ago, and I first saw Up With People in my hometown, actually when Mekki, who is here with us, came to town with her cast.
Well, that's cool.
That was 4 years before I traveled. And I was hypnotized, and first reaction I got from my dad sitting next to me in the show was, don't even think about it. I thought about it for 4 years, and then I finally joined when the next cast came by. And
nice.
yeah.
Nice. Okay, Mekki, since he gave us your nickname, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, thank you very much for having us. My name is Mechthild Kramer, which is unpronounceable for non-Germans pretty much, so I go by Mekki. I travel in CAS E87, and as Heiligenhaus is my hometown as well as it is Alex's hometown, so I brought Up With People to our hometown, and I got myself a wonderful band leader there. No, I traveled in 1987. Actually, my parents did a tour stuff for Sing Out in the 60s, but they never mentioned Up With People towards me. So I only found out they existed when they were on TV, and my mom got all excited. Oh, they're on TV. And I'm like, oh God, what's wrong with her? And then I started going to some shows. That must have been like 82, 83. And yeah, when I was old enough, I interviewed, and I was lucky enough to be to get in. And nice. Yeah, and in 1994, we met at a German assembly, and Alex came up with the idea. It's so sad that nobody plays the songs from the old shows anymore. What are we gonna do? And that's where this all started.
That's awesome. Okay, Klaus, tell us about you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Donna, for having us. My name is Klaus. I traveled in CAS B95, and I first got to see Up With People in 1992 when Cast A came to my hometown. The girl who did the admission actually is my wife today, so we are sort of an Up With People family. Our oldest daughter, Leni, she's 20. She traveled last year with Voices in Cast A 23. So yeah, we are still connected, especially also through this wonderful band. I'm happy to be part of that. And yeah, curious to find out more in the next half an hour.
That's awesome. I just sent an email this morning, Klaus, that I want to interview somebody that traveled in 23, because I think we older alumni need to hear what experiences they had that are similar to what we had, because everybody talks about how different it is. And I think we need to find the similarities. So
I sure can connect you with Leni.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Berger, we've met, I'm doing the air quotes virtually, and probably at a reunion one time or another. But if you would tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Bio Hoested, and when I was traveling in Up With People Regie, I'm called Berger. So
I know, sorry.
Originally from Denmark. Saw an Up With People show in 1984 for the first time and was really excited about it. And then got accepted in 87 and traveled the same year. And since 1992, I've been living in the Czech Republic. And I got into this band. I went in 2010 to see the band at a concert at a German alumni meeting. And there's a joke we might get back to. They can explain that the Up With People band is the band that never plays. And that year when I went to see the band play, they actually did not play. So I never saw them before joining. And then Alex kind of recruited me after at the EAM in Stockholm in 2012. And then I joined the band from then.
So it's funny because when I went to the European alumni page and I put this post out there about wanting to interview you guys, I couldn't think of the name Survival Band. So I was just like, okay, what's that band that never plays that always plays? So those are the words that I had heard. So Alex, let's go back to you. So and then it sounded like Mekki, like that, you know, you guys were at this reunion in Germany and that you had made the comment, Alex, that it's too bad that nobody ever plays. Is that how this started and evolved?
Yeah, pretty much. That was one of the ideas. And I must say the idea of having an Up With People band existed a little bit before that. Because one of the reasons was, you know, I saw the interview you did with Michael Bowerman. Great interview recently. And I only watched it yesterday after getting invited to be on here. So I thought, give it a look. And yeah, it was great to see what you're doing. And one of the things he said was he was a staff member and band instructor for the longest time. And he quit after, or he stopped because the hardest thing was to say no to friends. You know, he had to say no to the people who wanted to sing in the show, the people who wanted to play in the band, and but they were still his friends, and that was hard to do, and I understand that. And I think many of us were some of these people who were said no to. And I was one of them. I was not in the original band of my cast. So I was in band tryouts in Saging in Tucson and didn't make the cut because I think I'm okay on the piano, but I can't read music. And they put this whole stack of music in front of me and told me to play Bridge Over Troubled Water now in tryouts in front of Herb Allen and Bill Welsh and Pat Murphy, and everybody was there. And I was so nervous. And I was like, oh, that is a lot of black dots on that sheet of paper. So yeah, play by ear. So I didn't make the cut there because I wasn't able to learn the show in the required amount of time. And they moved another guy from another cast over to our cast, Chad. He was a great keyboard player and he was really talented and could read the music.
Yeah.
So he deserved it totally. And I was number 2 there for the longest time. So after getting home, I was like, hey, we should continue doing this and bring it to Europe. And so we had those German alumni meetings going on. And so for the first time in '94, which is 30 years ago this year, I wrote some letters, actually letters with stamps on it, to some of the people I knew who would play or sing music. So yeah, Mekki was one of them. Also our guitar player, Michael, he was one of the founding members. And they are still with us after 30 years. So that's awesome. And
that's very cool.
That's really cool. And so we performed at the first alumni meeting in '94 in Germany at a very small meeting, actually. We didn't have a drummer. We had one for rehearsal, but he couldn't make the real show. But he actually came up with the name Survival Band. So there's still a legacy of his with us.
So Alex, if you listen to that interview, and you guys, if you haven't, you should listen to the one with Michael Bowerman, because out of all the interviews I've done, and it's about at 60 now, he was the first staff member that talked to me about how hard it was to say no to friends. And how, and as I'm 5'10", I always was bigger than every girl. I was talented. I could dance, but nobody was going to lift me over their head. I was never going to be the girl up in the air, you know, in a show. And as part of that interview, I talked about Michael interviewing my son in 2013. And Michael said he had to take him to lunch and tell him how hard it was to say to my son, you're not ready.
Yeah.
You know, to perform. So that's an interesting start to it. So you told me you play keyboard. Mekki, what do you do in the band?
I sing.
You sing. Awesome. Did you sing in Up With People?
I try to. I'm a trained singer, but I sounded too opera to get any solos.
Really?
But I was allowed to sing "What Color Is God's Skin" in my hometown, so that was something. That was nice. So I mean, and during the last 30 years, I've performed in many things. I had main characters in musicals, and I was the only girl in the band. That was special. That was fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes yeah, it's hard to say no to friends, and I understand that. I was a choir leader, and I had to tell people, I'm sorry, you're still off. We have to do this again, and maybe you're not the one who's doing the solo in this performance, but we're working on you do it next time. It is hard.
Yeah.
But if you think of it as a from a perspective of somebody who has to bring a production forward, yes, then you have to make hard decisions. And yeah.
I'm working on a book, you guys, and one of the words there's a bunch of words, and we're illustrating the words, and one of them is flat. And for me, when I first thought of flat, I thought about music. I thought about, because I played violin, and if you're just a little off, you just go whatever to try to get it right. Or so anybody that's a musician hears flat, right? Unless you're a drummer, and then maybe you don't. I don't know. So so Klaus, tell us about your experience and what you do in the band.
Yes, in fact, I'm the drummer of the Up With People Survival Band, and I was also fortunate to be the drummer of Chaos B 95. And actually, I was the first drummer, but that was mainly because I was the only drummer. So at the beginning, I was like really into it, and then I realized, okay, the negative side effect, you have to be in every rehearsal, in every show, no activity crew, no spin-offs, because you had to be in every single show. And we did like, I don't know, 120. So, but still I enjoyed it a lot. Never really actually played in a band before. So,
so you just had been a home drummer? You just learned to drum like on your own at home?
Yes. I had some classes when I was 12, but then I stopped again when I was 15 because I was more into sports, not so much into music. So picked it up again when I traveled in Up With People, and never played after until actually 2003, when the former drummer of the Up With People survival band was kind of dropping out. So enjoyed that, started, and up until until today, I really love playing with the survival band once or twice, or this time even 3 times a year. But that's it. I'm not playing outside of the Up With People survival band, but really enjoying that.
What a great way to keep up your skill sets, you guys, you know, and be with friends. So Birger, tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I was playing before joining Up With People as such. I had played in a marching band for 10 years on drums. I had been performing with my brother, making quite a good extra earnings on playing, and I was playing organs, Hammond organs, and my brother on drums. So for various parties. So I thought that I had a little bit of talent playing keyboards, and I came to the also to the band thing there in Tucson, and I heard somebody play before me, and I said, probably not. And then I walked out again. During the year, I was on mic groups most of the time.
Okay.
And here in Prague, I have a rock band that I've been playing with for 14 years. I've been singer for 14 years, and I have a jazz band as well that I'm also a singer for 5 years.
So you're singing with this group right now? Because
I'm a singer in the survival band. Yes.
Okay. So I have no idea what kind of music you guys do. I don't know whether you
Up With People music.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I'm like, so if you get together, are you redoing old Up With People music? Are you adding modern tunes, or is it all up with people songs? Somebody, Meki, tell me what.
We do many Up With People songs, and in fact, we just learned a couple of new ones, which are old ones.
Okay.
But we also do other things. Like I remember, even in our first year, we added, just for fun because the tune was nice, we added some other things. But we started off with we planned only to play Up With People songs, but then it evolved, and we're half Up With People, half party band.
I think that for me, that makes sense as the years go by, right? One of my things about reunion is that maybe I told Bowerman, I would love to do songs that were not the top 3 in every show. I want to do the silly songs that like never made it anywhere because I think they're fun. They're, hey, y'all, throw me the ball, a basketball, whatever. There was just fun songs in other years that to me would be fun to redo at reunions instead of the same ones we always do.
Like playing B-sides of famous singles?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Somebody listen to the other side. There's going to be somebody from that 2023 cast who doesn't know what a single is, and the other side of the record is. So let's go back to Alex. Alex, you guys you just rehearsed, which is how this all came to fruition pretty quickly. And so did you get together? Did one of you have a studio? I saw that picture. Are you in somebody's house? Were you all just gathered, or how did that transpire?
Yeah, we're at my house.
Okay.
And everybody travels to my house once a year, normally, to have a rehearsal weekend, which we just had until Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, and that's how it continued. So every year, they also call us the band that never plays, but also the band that only plays once. We only get to rehearse once. It's one weekend. Actually, it's only the Saturday, a little bit of Friday, a little bit of Sunday, but then everybody's taken off.
Yeah.
And then we rehearse again in the afternoon of the show day, of that meeting of the EAM, of the German meeting.
Yeah.
And then we play it at night. So it's it evolved, it escalated to a 2-hour program.
Yeah.
This year, even more than that, I'm afraid. And it's become a long program. So what we do is we repeat songs.
Okay.
We don't play a totally new program every year.
All right. That makes
so
sense.
we repeat a lot of the songs that we always do, but then every year we try to add new songs, Up With People music and other music. We also do medleys. And yeah. We do, actually this year we do 2 medleys that were originally in the Up With People shows.
Like what? Tell me.
The first one we've been doing for many years is the 70s medley from Rhythm of the World.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we do this one.
Okay.
Exactly. But that everybody knows already.
Okay.
The other one is from a couple of years before Rhythm of the World, and I'm not going to spoil it.
Just whisper. you can message me later. Do you do Klaus? Do you do anything like since you are predominantly in Europe? Do you do anything that is in the languages of your country versus what because wherever we went, we learned some songs in that country, that language. So Up With People, maybe in Italian or German or whatever. Did you guys do that?
Yes, you know what? In the early 2000s, when we were mainly playing at the German alumni meetings, we would of course also add German contemporary songs that were famous in that year. And for the last couple of years, we have been invited to European alumni meetings frequently. So when we were invited to Switzerland, for example, we would try to prepare 1 or 2 Swiss songs. And so this year we will play at the EAM in Antwerp, in Belgium. So maybe we are able to prepare some Belgian music.
Are you doing?
So yeah, we do that. We try to prepare. We have a Dutch song that is very famous, even in Germany. So the audience actually every year they want us to play this Dutch song, kind of like a theme song almost for the band. So yes, we do.
That's nice. I think we did like a friend, and we all swayed. Which I believe.
Not doing that one though.
I believe that's not this year. I believe that. Don't laugh at me. You guys, as a real estate agent, I get people from all different countries, and there was a man from China here, and I sang a song to him in Mandarin from Up With People. And he thought I spoke fluent Chinese. And I'm like, no, I know a song, and I think it's about a river. Like, I don't know about that song. So So Berger, when you guys get together and you spend all day rehearsing and stuff like that, where do you all stay? Do y'all sleep on Alex's floor?
Well, we are basically at Alex or at Mickey's because well, she's in the same town as such. So I think the key thing is that when we get together, we're quite disciplined, and people are actually rehearsing very much before. So it's not that we get together and then we play it. It's every year I'm surprised a little bit, like, oh well, this was a new song. It worked out pretty darn well. First time. In the second go, it almost fits and sits. So it's so people are very well disciplined and prepared as such prior to meeting up. Otherwise, it would not be possible to pull off such a show with such little rehearsal time.
That is why. So to be talking to this group of people and hear the word disciplined, it's not like I'm shocked about, you know, the discipline of, because that's such a stereotype that rings true for much of you guys. And that's why Alex said it's not good to try to interview us while we're here. You know, we need to do it after, because we need to get our rehearsal in. So
I would like to add though that this band, we're not perfect at all.
What?
We make mistakes.
Terrible.
And our original audience, the German alumni who's been following us and celebrating with us for 30 years now, they are the best audience in the world, because if we play a song very good, they love it. If we make mistakes, if we totally screw it up, they love it.
They love it.
They know what we do. They know we only rehearse once a year. There's got to be mistakes.
Yeah.
And those happen, and that's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think an important thing as a part of when we are playing as such, it's not that you're coming to an Up With People show and you're sitting down and listening to Up With People songs again. We actually want people to go up and dance, behave like they were never allowed to behave on stage, jump up and down and dance around, try to do all the vamps that you thought you knew and you have seen before. Just try to get involved in it and jump up and sing along and get engaged as such with what we are doing up there. So it's really fun. It's not just a concert. So it can maybe be a little bit of a shock for some people that are coming to reunion and used to see all these very professional performances, people sitting around here. We are there. We are a party band. Yeah. And we play Up With People music. So if you will dance crazy to an Up With People song where you normally would be standing, and not Godskin, but yeah, whatever, you're allowed to do so.
Yeah. I saw, so was the song Festa Humana, was that in any of your shows, or have you seen, do you know that one, kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
So Umberto Alabada is directing In the Heights at a show here. Yeah, I went and saw it the other day.
Wow.
And one of my son Caleb's friends is in it. So and in Tucson, there was only one person that wasn't at least partially Hispanic, which is great for that show, right? And there's a song where they're all dancing. Do you guys know the show? Do you know In the Heights? Have you seen her?
I'm aware of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so it's about Washington Heights. It's about, and they're Dominican and they're Costa Rican and they're all Latins. And there's a place in the show where they lose power and they're having a street party and they're all whining about it being too hot and everything. Well, there's a dance in the show and they have flags and stuff. And I told Umberto afterwards, I'm like, this is very reminiscent of Festa Humana.
Oh, really?
It was because it was the same ethnicity, it was the same kind of music, it was fun, it was dancey, you know, and stuff like that. And at the end of that show, you guys, instead of just ending the show after their bows, they played dance music and they came into the audience and they had a stance. So it was super fun. And I think that I've heard enough about you guys without having heard you in person to know that that's what you're doing. I
mean, we are not having a Lynn Morris that is telling us where we have to stand and how we have to move. We are not having a music director, except we'll say Alex in the sense, but he's a bit more tolerant than maybe some music directors been. So I mean, we are really having fun out there.
That's awesome.
So it doesn't need to be a special person that sings a certain songs. There are songs that I think
Fun.
I'm singing some songs where it's typically other ethnic parts of the population that are Up With People alumni groups that are singing these songs.
Nice, nice. So okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Berger.
No, I just say that's the way it should be. It's fun. It's
yeah.
So look forward to it, those that have a chance.
All right. So this year is Antwerp. Have they already decided where next year is for the EAM?
That's Germany. It's going to be in the city of Bochum.
I don't know. How do you spell that?
Bochom.
Whereabouts
is it? UM.
Mm-hmm.
It's close to, actually it's close to where we live. It's in the western part of Germany, in the Ruhr area. And we've played there already because a couple of years ago we had a German assembly there. Okay. And okay. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. And I would like to add to
that would be Düsseldorf.
Okay. Pardon?
Closest airport to that to get to would be Düsseldorf.
Düsseldorf.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
It's easily reachable. Okay. But I would like to add to what you said, that that something reminded you of Festa Humana. And when we're up there on stage performing our songs, very often the audience bursts out into dances from the different old shows they played. And so it's not only us performing up there, but they're performing for us. And that is so special that sometimes it's really hard to keep singing without forgetting or to keep singing while we're watching, because it's so much fun to see them perform. Yeah, really, really great.
That's neat, and to see how things are the same and yet have changed some through the years, depending on. So, do you get anybody? You guys are mid 80s and on. Do you get many people like from my era, from like the mid 70s to the mid 80s? Alex?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
yeah, we do. Yeah, we have quite an era from even the time before you, from a Sing Out era. There was Sing Out Germany in those years, and we have quite a few of these guys joining our meetings every year.
Nice.
Yeah, everything in between too. Yeah.
Okay, so then what about the younger? What about the younger kids? What about the ones that maybe traveled? Okay, so Klaus, you're here, you're 95. So then that we had the 2000s. Do you get any of the younger people that show up from the 2000s?
Yeah, well, actually, that's one thing about the German Alumni Club and the band. Basically, the club and the band, they are growing old together. Most people who perform in the band, and also most people who are members of the Alumni Club, a lot of them traveled in the, let's say, late 80s till late 90s.
Okay.
So when I traveled and when I joined the club, everybody was young, everybody was a student. And now most of the people are in their, let's say, late 40s until late 50s.
Yeah.
So there is, same as in the Up With People program, unfortunately, there is not that many really young people that join. But hopefully this year we will have maybe even 5 students from Cast A23 joining the German Alumni Club. So there is some young people coming in, and maybe also some young people joining the band at some point. Yeah, that would be nice.
At one point we were able to perform with our daughters, with Klaus' daughter Leni and my daughter Linnea, who's the same age, and they sang Sound of Peace with us.
Nice.
And that was very special. And my daughter Fiona traveled in Cast A20, and who was home 7 weeks after it started. So
yeah,
actually we provide for the younger people to come to our shows for ourselves, because we always bring our kids, and they grew up with it, and they grew up with the German assemblies, they grew up with the band. So yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And maybe one thing, Donna, that is important to know about the band, as we said, it started off pretty much as a German thing. And now we are 10 people, and we have recently Eirik from Norway joined. We have a guy from Denmark playing the bass. Nice. We have Berger. We have Michael, who's living in Switzerland now. We have Nicole, who's from the Netherlands. So it's almost an international band by now, which is really nice.
It fits with the theme. My son got married in November, and one of his groomsmen was from Norway, and people came from Belgium, and people came from Mexico, and people came from Sweden, and all of that. And my cast was the bicentennial in the States. So we only had 6 or 7 non-Americans, and we had to make people up from other countries now and then in the show. So yeah, you know, you just didn't know where somebody might be from. They'd raise their hand. But it was so fun for me as a mom to see those kids 10 years later, because it was their, you know, they traveled in 2023 or in 2013, and he got married in 2023. And to see the evolution, and for me to go back and find out what those young people are doing now, 10 years later. And because of social media, how much easier. Nobody had to write a letter to anybody, right? Nobody, they just all chat and talk all the time. And Klaus and Mickey, I assume your children will do the same, you know?
Yes.
The people that they traveled with. So Alex, I'm going to go back to you before we log off. And please tell everybody listening where you're playing, the dates, because you said there's 3 this summer.
Yeah, first, well, we're calling it our 30th anniversary tour, actually. Normally it was only 1 concert every year. Now it's, sometimes it was 2, now it's 3, and that's a first. So it's the first time we're playing 3 times a year. And yeah, the first one is in May in Antwerp, Belgium.
Yeah.
I think it's May 11, that's the day where we play.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next one, and that's the EAM, the European Alumni Meeting. The next one will be in Ireland, in Limerick, and we're very excited about that because it's the International Alumni Association's Alumni Week, formerly known as Reunion.
Yeah.
And they invite us. We've been in touch with them for many years, and we've been talking about performing at a reunion. And that was, you know, out of our league. It was in Tucson. It was impossible to get everybody there. And now they're in Ireland for the first time. And that's exciting. So we get to play there, and they do a great job. Mary there and the committee is doing everything for us. They're renting all the equipment because we cannot drive our cars there with all the stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's doing a great job on that. So thank you for that, and see you there, hopefully, everybody. And then after, that's in August, by the way. August, what's the date? Who knows?
11.
August.
I think it's August.
Stick with the 11s. Yeah. Okay.
Another 11. Okay, it's the Saturday of the Alumni Week.
Yep.
And then the third one will be in October, the German General Assembly, the German Alumni Clubs meeting. That's in Ahrweiler, just south of Cologne.
Okay.
The 19th of October.
The what?
19th of October.
My cast is having a reunion in San Antonio in October that we were going to do in 2020, and we had to cancel it.
Invite the survival band next time.
Invite the survival band. If you guys come, you will double our group, because we're at the point where 15 or 16 come to these mini reunions or whatever. But
and we must thank all the excuse me, we must thank all the committees that invite us, all the teams. Because you know, when we started out, we just brought our instruments, a few speakers, and we set them up in the same room. We'd be in a corner and play with everybody. This thing has escalated to a full stage 2-hour evening show.
Yeah.
And we used to have our own sound guy who brought his equipment. Martin, thank you for that. And that became impossible after a while because everything was too big. And now all the teams are renting all the equipment. They're renting full sound stage lighting equipment for us to play in it. So that's amazing. We don't even have to do all the setup work.
Nice.
That is really great.
All right.
Almost like rock stars.
Like real rock stars. All right. We're gonna wrap this up. You guys, I want you to do me a favor. And if you are on Facebook and we're not already friends, Alex, I friended you the other day. My name is Donna Seaman Reed. When I traveled, it was Seaman. And send me a friend request so that when I post this, I can tag you in it, because I will share it on the EAM. I will share it on the IAA page. I share it on my personal page, because you just never know. And then you guys can share, and I'll make sure I get it out there in the next week or so. It's so that it's before the EAM takes place. And thank you. Thanks for, what is it? It's 10 o'clock here. Was it 8 o'clock at night for you guys? Something like that?
7:10.
7. Okay. It's not crazy bad then. So, but thank you. Doing these with people in Asia that's hard because either I have to stay up like super, super late and get them in the morning, or I have to get up at like 4 o'clock to get them. So I appreciate it. And truly, Klaus and Meki, maybe talk to your kids, your girls, and see whether they might be interested in doing something together, because I would really like to get some of the youngers. And maybe sharing that experience in 2020 is something, because Li Kung, who was their manager, also he did. Yeah. So all right, you guys, thank you so much. Go enjoy whatever's left of your night. And again, I will tag you all, and then I may ask you to send me on Messenger the names of the rest of the band members so that I can get those all posted too. Okay.
Do that.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Time.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us. That was
Nice
great.
to meet you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Donna. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Gotta stop the recording, you guys.